One-handed reloads. This is something when you go to a training course, often you'll see people doing it. Why do we do it? Why do we train to fight with one hand? Why do we train to shoot with one hand? And more importantly, why do we train to reload with one hand? There's a bunch of scenarios you can think of in your head. The worst case scenario, the one we usually teach is my other hand gets, debilitated for some reason. Arm gets blown up, I get shot in the hand, I'm cut, I'm bleeding, and now I have to go and do everything for my one arm. That's definitely a reason you want to train for that. But it can be as simple as, the everyday situation. What if you're with your kids? What if you're holding the hand of your kids, or you're protecting your family, and now you're fighting with one hand? You can't get that hand back in. There's a lot of different ideas, and you can imagine certain circumstances that would put you in that place, but it's something you need to practice. If that one hand goes down, or you're incapacitated, or you're carrying something that you can't let go of, how do we do everything with the one hand? Reload, shoot, fight. It's got to be through training. So I'm going to show you guys how to get through this. There's a few different options of what you can do, but it doesn't matter what gun you have. It doesn't matter if you have iron sights. It doesn't matter if you have red dots. Everyone is capable of doing one-handed shooting and one-handed reloads. I'll show you how. What I want to talk first is do you even carry a spare magazine? Oftentimes when I'm carrying, I carry a significant amount of rounds in my magazine, but I may not have a spare. So if you have no spare, this is going to be completely not applicable to you. But if you are the person who carries spare magazines, or you're a police officer or security guard, and you always have extra mags on you, then you're going to want to pay attention. When my gun goes dry and I have to reload, right, the slide will lock back, and I have a couple different ways of storing that gun. So let's say I'm a police officer, security guard, and I'm carrying exposed. I have a holster on the side. My gun goes empty, my gun goes dry, and my other hand's occupied. I can just easily stick this in the holster, and now I have a place to hold the gun. That's going to hold right there. I take my mag out, I put it in, and I'm good to go. But for a lot of us at home, a lot of us, who aren't carrying for a profession, we're carrying from our waistband. We're not putting that gun back in the holster, right? It's going to be pretty challenging to get that gun back in the holster. Or maybe you don't even have that holster. Maybe you're just running it behind your belt, or you're carrying it from a safe or somewhere in your car. How do we get that going? Well, we have a couple options that I've used. Traditionally in the past, I've taught you could put your gun between your knees, pull out your magazine, and you could stow it this way. What I like about it is it's a really effective way to hold the gun and have exposure to the magazine. A couple things I don't like about it. If I have my weapon placed in my knees, everything that I'm doing is down here. My eyes are down, my body is down, and also I can't move. My legs are pinned. So it's been a while since I've taught that method. Not the biggest fan of it, but it is a way. I simply put the slide down into my legs, I grab my magazine out, I stuff it in, and then I can rack it through my legs just like this. I've moved over to a different way. I've seen a lot of other people doing this as well, and I think it's a damn fine way to do this. I take my shots, drop my magazine, and then I'm going to stick my weapon into my armpit just like this. If I actually had hands on, my family, my kids, holding them, I could still whip this in just like this. It's still in a safe direction. I still have control of everything I need, and I'm just using my wing. I go ahead, I grab my magazine, I stuff that magazine in, and then what's the next step? The next step is my slide. Easiest way you can do this is just take any fabric that you have on your hip, on your belt, and just push it against. Those irons on your slide, the red dot on your slide, it's all going to pick up on your belt, on your fabric, whatever. It doesn't matter if you're wearing yoga pants, if you're wearing jeans, it's all going to grip and slide. And then you start firing again. Okay, so to show this in real time, if you want to train this, you just have one in the chamber, empty magazine, and I stow my extra mag wherever it would actually be. If you don't have mag pouches, maybe it's just in your pocket, and that's totally fine. And you're going to want to immobilize your hand. You can You can pick something up like a briefcase if you wanted to train it like you were holding on to a family member's hand. You can just immobilize it like this, whatever works for you. For me right now, I'm just gonna immobilize the arm. Hey, I'm pausing the video right now to let you know about a free giveaway that USCCA has going on right now. Check out the link below for all the details, and let's get back to the video. And I'm gonna draw, and I'm gonna take my shot, slide locks to the rear. I drop that magazine, and then I just stow it right here. As I go, I reach in. This is gonna take you some time, but it's all right. You pull that magazine out, you gotta twist it, turn it, stuff it in, making sure that it's seated nice and properly. And then here, you have the option of thumb dropping. Totally fine. If for some reason that wasn't working, because I can't think of an example, you just take the sights, push against, and you get on your merry way, and you keep firing. So there's not really a reason why you can't stay in the gunfight no matter what happens to the gun. You just have to train this. All right, so the last point I want to bring up is you have to train this on both hands. So that was just trained on my strong hand. And my strong hand setup is magazine is placed in my right pocket or my right side. My holster is placed where my holster is placed as normal. Some of that dynamic changes, right? So for instance, if I do this with my left hand takes the shot, my right arm's immobilized. I have to train this. I drop the magazine with a new finger, right? Something I may or may not be training. The hand is still gonna come under and open this up, but now the load is slightly different. I have to come from this arm, and then, oh look, does my slide drop? Have I trained this, or do I go from the sights? But either way, I have to train the way I fight. And the way I fight, or at least the way that my hands need to be trained to fight, is if one goes down, the other one's ready to step up. So not necessarily you have to train both hands switching, although I do love that. I'm a proponent of training both hands equally. But when you're shooting offhand single and strong arm single, you really got to practice these drills. Let me know what you think. Comment section, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more because we have a lot more coming out on this topic. This is training for actual real world events that can happen to you, your family, so make sure you continue training because that's how we move forward and that's how we progress.